I don't give a fuck. You like to play weather?
I do. I grew up in Montreal. This is nothing.
So these cops are guarding City Hall because look at all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 2 vehicles. They're just guarding City Hall because we protest every 12. We protest every day, every Saturday at 12 o'clock here to protest the lockdowns and stuff. And now the police are shutting us down. We're not allowed to protest outside because they say so. And you know, it was funny because a couple weeks ago they put an article out saying that they couldn't actually break up our protest a couple weekends ago. Anti-lockdown protesters are being selfish, Peterborough Kawartha MPP says. Peterborough Kawartha MPP Dave Smith said the protesters are being selfish and it's disappointing they are not taking precautions to prevent the spread of the virus. When you take a selfish action and you step out and say it doesn't work because you don't believe in science, you are putting the lives of other people at risk, and that is very selfish and foolish, Smith said. City Police spokesperson Sandra Dweck said police were aware of last Saturday's gathering, which drew about 20 people at City Hall, a block away from the police station, but due to the amount of calls and the high priority of them, officers did not respond to it. These calls were of a high priority, and there were no officers available to respond when the call came in to the police station, Dweck said. But then now, last weekend, they had enough to send 8 cops. Why aren't you writing tickets for everybody here?
Because we're having. I know you guys.
Talking up to people that are peacefully protesting, breathing some fresh air. And now this weekend, they have enough to send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cops to stand there and not do anything. Because we're just peacefully protesting. Well, we're not right now because we're being oppressed. But anyway, thank you for listening. So this is a group of protesters. We got a few hardliners that won't leave no matter what.
Oh no, I want to talk to the police. Yeah.
And we got the news here.
Where's the other camera?
I just put my car for a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Just leave me alone, okay?
I'm doing journalism. I'll keep it down here.
Hey, Sarge. I'll come over to you.
They're guarding City Hall from peaceful protesters. That's the bottom line right here.
Oh. Hey, Sarge, how you doing?
Let's just step off the road here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Besides, you came over here today so you guys didn't have to walk far.
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing? I know. I came here today.
Yeah. So,
Not to protest.
okay.
I came here to talk to you guys.
Yeah, and that's okay.
All
so,
right.
as long as you're not in contravention of any of the acts
Yep.
that we're obligated to enforce, we can have a conversation.
Okay.
But if we get our numbers above 5, right? We're not right now, I'm just telling you.
All right.
We're
then,
not.
Then obviously that becomes an issue.
Okay. Then.
So, and then that's where we're going to be put in a position where we're doing our job,
We're doing our job. Yep.
and we're charging people that are in breach. So,
Okay. I got a question for you.
okay.
All right.
Yep.
When are you guys going to turn around to your chief of police, to your union, turn and go, this is absolutely wrong?
We're doing our job. 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 We're doing our job.
As a police officer, you become human. You experience community, the good and the not so good, notes Mr. Leons. This community has given me so many opportunities and been so good to my family. How can you not give back when given the chance? I'd love to teach police foundations. That would be amazing. I've never taken my job for granted. I've never thought anyone owed me more. This job has given me so much opportunity in a professional and personal sense. Life is good. Inspector Leons. The man who sends his officers to break up peaceful protests and create the environment in which Peterborough Police cannot talk to him about executing unlawful orders. The Peterborough Police seem to not have even raised the idea to him that breaking up a peaceful protest outside is unlawful in the slightest. He'd love to teach the next generation.
Because they just proved that hydroxychloroquine does kill the virus. It came out. Worldwide media, it came out. The World Health Organization turned around and said the PCR tests are garbage. So they lied to us about the PCR tests. Our government runs it at 40 when it's only supposed to be run at 12 originally. Now the World Health Organization is saying it doesn't work. It doesn't matter, right? They've got hydroxychloroquine, which kills it. So why do we have to have lockdowns? Why do we have to have the vaccines, right? And when you guys turn around and go, we have to do our job. I'm not saying you're being Nazis. We're doing our job. Yeah?
We're doing our job. We're doing our job. We're doing our job.
No. You guys have to stand up because you are our defense against them. Yeah. And I'm not saying this like it's going to be me, but if you push a rabbit into a corner, it will fight back.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
And the last thing I want to do, like I back the blue 100%.
Yeah, and I'm not a medical expert, so when you get into the medical terms as to what works, what doesn't.
No, it's come out. It came out. American Journal of Health.
Right.
Came out.
But I don't get to make those decisions, right?
He only gets to make the decision about breaking up peaceful protests and extorting people for doing their utmost due diligence of making the public aware of a problem. Yet last week, 23rd January 2021, one of our protesters relayed to us that one of these officers asked them to not make them do their job, as the other officers were ticketing us. They're doing their job, but asking us not to make them do their job while they do it. The public needs to come together and back up these officers. That is the case. They are incapable of defending themselves on this matter. If they can't defend themselves, how will they defend you?
I know.
As far as what the government's saying is effective or isn't effective, it's not a police issue. That's a medical issue.
It's not just a police issue. It's your soul. It's not just a police issue. It's your soul. It's not just a police issue. It's your soul.
He is talking about the cognitive dissonance experienced when actively ignoring what you experience and know versus what you are actually doing. Protesting outside is one of the most fundamental Rule 1 and 2 activities a free society should be able to engage in. Without the ability to go outside and make aware the people of this country there is something wrong through freedom of travel, association, and expression, you better wake up to the fact your society isn't as free as you think it is. Us today, you tomorrow.
To protect us.
Yes.
And to protect the Constitution.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
To protect us.
Yes.
And to protect the Constitution.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And right now you're not doing it. I should be able to walk down Article 2. I should be able to walk down the street and go, Trudeau's an asshole. With a big sticker saying, Trudeau's an asshole. That is my right. That is why I put this beret on. That's why I did it for my country. Now you guys have to turn around. Those orders I was told overseas, I have to go and do. And I looked at, I'm not doing that.
One of our protesters is an Afghanistan vet, armored cav, and he just told this cop, in war, the theater of war, he still had time to say, no, I will not do that because it is wrong. What are these cops doing as protectors of our city in which they cannot take the time to look up whether what they are doing is wrong? Peterborough Police are great investigators. They said it themselves. Not this issue, though.
A generalist approach means frontline officers have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to manage a broad range of investigations.
That's wrong. And then you get sent away.
I hear
you guys talking. Why doesn't your chief come on? Too busy?
If you want to reach out to our chief, and again, that's not my decision to make. If you want to reach out and ask the chief for a chance to speak with him, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
Whether he'll entertain that or not, I don't know.
Oh, you know he's not going to entertain that.
I don't know.
Okay.
He might. He's a very reasonable man.
Our staff work hard to prevent and solve crime, efficiently respond to emergencies.
So again, that would be an option. You could exercise. You could reach out and say, hey, do you have time to sit down with me or talk over the phone with me? I don't know. Again, that's something that would be well within your right to.
Our staff work hard to prevent and solve crime, efficiently respond to emergencies.
To ask that?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't get to look at the medical evidence and decide what I do and don't believe. I'm not a medical expert.
Oh, no, I'm not saying
So-
you have to be a medical expert. You can sit at home, you don't watch mainstream media, you do your own digging, you do your own stuff. Then you guys get together, you're sitting there in a car one day going, dude, what are we doing? Like, do we have to keep doing this? They've lied to us. They've lied to us.
As you
about
guys too.
everything. And they're lying to you, saying you have to do this because we say we're waiting on the vaccine. Don't need a vaccine anymore because hydroxychloroquine works. Because it wasn't about a disease, it was about an election. This is a global thing. It's not just Peterborough,
Oh, I
it's
get
not
that.
Toronto, it's not just Canada, it's a global thing. Right?
Oh, it's
So-
affecting the whole world.
Yes, that's right.
I
And
get
you guys are our defense against it. You guys are our defense. When I see the cops down in Toronto, little old ladies getting busted and pushed to the ground. I don't want to come here.
No, I don't want that either.
Hey! Hey, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you
I want to speak what's on my heart.
Infringing on my rights. You are infringing on my rights.
Officer, why are these protesters not allowed to protest and people like you took the knee for Black Lives Matter in the summer?
I'm not going to leave a communist country to my kids or anyone else's kids.
So that we could be free. So we could have a charter. These men are urinating and defecating on the cenotaphs of every dead soldier across Canada.
Right, so when you guys talk to each other, and you talk to the guys in your car, and you guys talk and you go to the gym and you talk and say, what the hell's going on, man? Chief, why are we doing this? Is it because the government said this, and this one said it's lying? History's paper. Look, we did this, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And as soon as you do that, they may turn around and go, yeah, you're right. But right now, they're pushing this agenda so hard. And like I said, you guys, I don't want him sitting.
What's that?
I don't want him sitting. Yeah, okay.
We don't want anybody sitting on you. That's not our goal,
No.
right?
I'd say he's what, about 6'3" and about 240?
We want this to remain peaceful.
Yeah.
We appreciate that last week was peaceful.
It's gonna stay
Our goal is for this to stay peaceful. We don't want to go hands-on with anybody. That's not the outcome we're looking for, right?
Yeah, I know you personally don't.
No. I don't.
And I don't know what your chief is going to say.
Yep. I think the chief wants the same thing that we want. He wants a peaceful outcome.
6.
Right?
Okay.
We weren't asked to come down here and physically remove people.
Oh.
M. Reeser admits his chief didn't tell him to come and remove people. But the context of this entire situation is peaceful protesters outside causing no harm. Ticket them if they break tyrannical acts, and if they do not leave after being ticketed, then what? What is the next level of escalation for peaceful non-compliance to tyranny? What if we know this issue is so important, we need to stay and continue peacefully protesting after getting a ticket?
No.
Just extort them with fear tickets, right?
It's all right. It's all right. What was I going to say? I'm having a bit of a Sleepy Joe moment right now.
That's all right.
Okay. When it comes down to brass tacks, when your chief says, mandate from the federal government comes down, says all municipalities through Doug Ford will turn around and say, if you have not taken your vaccine, we are taking you.
You know what? If we get there, that would be a scary day.
Okay.
So it is a scary day to get a mandated vaccine, yet you are stopping the only people bringing attention to stop the exact issue. If not us, who will speak up? You are oppressing those speaking up, so it definitely isn't you, Peterborough Police. Scary day for who?
And you know that it's happening in Toronto, right? You get off a plane, you haven't had your test, you go to COVID hotel.
I read the news about that.
I changed
Yeah.
my flight to go to Buffalo, and then I drove over the border to not
Yeah.
get raped by a PCR
So-
test that doesn't work. Well, that's the truth. It's honest.
Okay, it's true. So these guys, it's going to come to that. It is going to come to that. And you guys have to be on our side. I'm not saying you have to stand beside me with a placard. It's just like, no, I'm not, I can't do that. You guys can't do that. Please don't do that. All right? All
Like I
right.
said, today what we're here for is to make sure that people are
Yes,
abiding by the Reopening Ontario Act. And at this point, right? And at this point, that's
it's kind of
happening.
ironic, isn't it?
Reopening the speedy shutdown
That's
of
what
Ontario
the act
Act.
is called, right? I don't name
know.
it, right? I don't write it,
Yeah.
but it's my job to enforce it. And I appreciate the compliance today.
Yeah.
And
Like I said, I'm not here to protest the government right now. I just want to talk to you guys.
Yep.
Most oppressors appreciate compliance. Yeah. All right, I can't hold myself.
Teacher, and you guys are policemen, and we work for the government. But we don't work for the government. We work for the people who represent. The government represents us, the people, right? So we want to serve your chief of police to let him know that he's going against our charter of rights, and he could be held accountable for that. So.
When the people have to tell the number one guy he's breaking rules 1 and 2, and the force isn't willing to say something, you know there is a serious issue.
We're wondering how would be best to do that.
I would call in during a weekday and ask to speak with them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And we can show up at the at your building over there.
Well, if you show up at the station, I'm not sure that you're going to get an audience with them if you're just to show up. I would recommend phoning ahead of time if they can get invited.
Right.
You can always ask for an
What would
audience
they
with
have
him
to
again.
ask?
Whether
Okay.
you can ask whether he decides to sit down and chat with you or not. I don't know. I'm not him, so I don't want to put words in his mouth. But if you make you can make a request.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Here is a statement of solidarity the Peterborough Police Service put out before a Black Lives Matter protest June 2nd, 2020. The Peterborough Police Service wishes to reaffirm its commitment to bias-free policing and the right for people to gather in peaceful protest. In a world where systemic racism has been embedded by a history of colonization, we understand that we must continuously reaffirm this commitment, which is reflected in our core values: integrity and loyalty, empathy and fairness, respect and civility, courage and leadership. The Peterborough Police Service continues to work with community partners to achieve safety, inclusion, and well-being for all.